Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, was on the spotlight today as the major gubernatorial candidates for the March 2nd, 2019 elections, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu of the All Progressive Congress Party and Mr. Jimi Agbaje of the People's Democratic Party engaged in a debate on economic and business issues. This was a private sector interactive session hosted by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry and moderated by Mr. Frank Agbogun, publisher of Business Day newspapers. The president of LCCI, Mr. Babatunde Runsewe, shared the essence of hosting the private sector interactive session.
The event of today is keeping with the noble tradition. We are pleased to be hosting the Lagos State governorship flag bearers of the two leading parties in the person of Mr. Jimi Agbaje, PDP, and Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, APC. It is fast evolving into a mega city with a population of over 20 million. The private sector in Lagos State is a major stakeholder, having regard to its contribution to the state's internally generated revenue, job creation, and general advancement of economy of the state. As in most economies, the private sector is the engine of growth in Lagos State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, democracy is about choice, and the value it bestows lies in the quality of choice we make. The engagement of the candidates will give exposition that would guide our electoral choices. I will therefore implore you all to listen attentively to the presentations of the candidates and the subsequent engagement by the panelists. I will also implore the candidates to focus on issues. This exercise is very crucial because the quality of political governance has profound implications for the quality of investment environment. Without a conducive environment for business, there cannot be meaningful economic progress. And this could impede the capacity of the private sector to create jobs and support revenue for growth of government.
The candidates in their opening statements shared why they were qualified for the number one position in the state.
Why are we here today? We're here standing as a candidate of APC to come and govern your state, my state, a state that all of us are truly passionate for, Lagos State, that has the fifth largest economy in Africa today, that has a population that is growing at a rate higher than the federal government, that has a vehicular density that's 3 times any part of its nation, that has the traffic on a daily basis that surpassed a lot of other megacities in the world. Just on a final note, what I've brought here is a project called TEAM. T for traffic management and transportation, E for health and environment. The M is to make Lagos the 21st century economy. The other E there is education and technology. And the last E is entertainment and tourism. The ones that is critical to the private sector is making Lagos the 21st century in infrastructure, in security, in ensuring that issues that concerns you around creating wealth for your businesses, creating opportunities for the private sector to thrive, to be able to do their businesses in a safe, sound, secure environment, and also knowing that 85% of the GDP of the state rests with you, knowing fully well that it's only when we create a lot of PPPs, a lot of interactions and engagement with you, understanding that what you require is a nimble, is a fast civil service, is a fast government establishment that will live up to the responsibility, understanding what your requirements are.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
You will know, for some of you, that I had run in 2007, just like I had attempted to be governor in 2015. And this is my third attempt. In 2007, I recognized the megacity nature of Lagos, requiring a different approach to governance. And our theme of that campaign was New Thinking, New Lagos. And it was deliberate. In 2015, we came up again and talked about bold ideas, new opportunities. In 2019, we're talking about re-anchoring Lagos, again for good reason. I'm putting myself forward to ensure life is worth living in a Lagos state whose economy is thriving for all Lagosians. A Lagos state that our youth can see a future. That is, in a nutshell, why I am running. Our campaign focus is on a tripod. And again, for those who are very much active on the social media, you would have seen that our manifesto is out there in the public domain. It's based on a tripod of livability, of the economy, and of the future. And so we're saying that it's important that if we're going to address the challenges of a mega city like Lagos, we must address those issues as I have listed. When we talk about livability, we talk about education, we talk about health, we talk about infrastructure, we talk about culture and environment, and we talk about human capital. Again, in this opening statement, it is to give you a brief of what we're talking about. And that's for livability. In terms of the economy, of course, we talk about we're talking about an efficient economy. We have to be more efficient in a mega city like Lagos. We talk about job creation, which is about growing the economy and diversifying that economy. And it's on that basis we talk about looking in terms of diversification. We, in 2015, talked about opportunities in our water when we talked about ocean economy. We're saying that when we look at the economy of today and tomorrow, it is a knowledge economy, and that it is time that we look at the opportunity in that knowledge economy and add it as a way of diversifying the economy. We believe that we can create a whole new economy around education, just like other countries have done, Singapore, China, and we can continue. That education in itself can be a fulcrum, can be a focal point of an economy. Again, in the course of this debate, I will try and expatiate on it. We talk about the future for our people, the future for our youth. The hopelessness must be removed. Our youth must be able to see a future in Lagos, because if you ask them today to choose between going abroad to Europe, to America, to Canada, or to stay in Lagos, I'm sure you know that the answer will be very clear. In our time, we went to those countries. We took our bursaries, we took our scholarships, and traveled to those countries. We had no intention to stay in those countries. And so we must give a future to our youth. We must give that future to them. And so we're talking about entrepreneurial governance, which again is not new in terms of what we have tried to sell. Entrepreneurial governance basically is accepting that there are opportunities that people can leverage on, that it is the duty of government to create, to facilitate, not participate, but to facilitate that environment for people to thrive on. And therefore, that requires a new orientation on the part of government, on the part of the civil service, of the public service. It becomes important that the private sector is seen as a partner. So that's in terms of the future. I like to keep to time. So livability, the economy, and the future. That is where we stand, the tripod today. Jimi Agbaje has been consistent over the years. It's got to be different. It's not about incremental development. Thank you very much.
They also share what will be their priority if elected into office as Executive Governor of Lagos State in their first 60 days.
Number one, I will solve largely the traffic problem. I have gone about to identify traffic wardens, traffic managers that will help us solve the traffic issue, large, low-hanging, that I talk. Remove roundabout, put street light, one. Number two, I will endeavor that I solve the Apapa gridlock problem within 60 days. Specific. Number two. Number three, I will do a consultative engagement a consultative engagement with stakeholders in the private sector to go about a roadmap that is measurable, that is smart, that is articulate, and that it is result-oriented. Number 3. Number 4, I will ensure that within the first 60 days, right, we have a town hall assembly meeting with the entire civil service. It's a new game, it's a new day, it's a new way of doing things. We need to kick the ball running from day one. If you need to shape in, you better shape in. If you have other issues as a public officer, think to it. And the 5th one is to engage everybody in Lagos and to say to them that the promises I have promised you is to run an inclusive government. It's a government that not only will you have access to me, you'll have access to all of my cabinet. And within the 60 days, by the way, I will have inaugurated my cabinet. I will have a working tool. We will see people that are rolling up all of their deliverables, and there will be things that are measurable. There will be deliverables that people can put us to test. That will put us to test. Within the first 60 days, we will ensure that every stakeholder engagement that we need to do in security, in power, like I've said, we bring all of that to reality. And Lagosians sitting and all of the business community, I want to thank you so very much for giving me this very unique opportunity. I've been part of it before. I really know where the shoe pinches. I know what the issues are. I have worked with you before. I have run a lot of your businesses. I have managed a lot of your balance sheet before. Those are the things that I bring to the table. Those are the things I want us to work together and be able to take to the next level. Thank you so very much.
Character to leadership in Lagos State. And when I talk about character, I'm talking about looking at the people and saying it is about them. It's service. That power is about service. It is not about self. I think that's the first thing, that the message that will be sent out is that whatever we're going to do in Lagos from now on has to be about the people and not about any oligarchs or the other. That is number 1. Having said that, then we're going to get the private sector to come and be partners with us because we need them. And we're going to show them that we're going to do everything to make them succeed in terms of getting our children better educated, in terms of the health sector, getting our people healthy. That is very important for us. It's time to look at the infrastructure and to tell the private sector that, look, we need to think big. It's about bold ideas, that we are a mega city. We're one of the worst mega cities. There are 37 mega cities in the world. We're number 36 of the 37. That is just no longer acceptable, and that we have to turn it around, and that it is time for us to start work. And that's why we say that we must get the private sector involved. We must look at the issues of tax, issues of levies, issues of construction permits, issues of traffic, issues of management. And that is what I think we bring to the table, because we say it must be, the message must be clear that on this table, on my table, again, I will emphasize that I can look you in the face and say that the buck will stop on my table. I'm not sure that everybody can look Lagosians in the face and say that the buck will stop on their table. That is something that I'm going to send right from day one. Thank you.
After an engaging debate, one thing is very clear. The task ahead is daunting, and Lagos is in dire need of a visionary, pragmatic, and dynamic governor in 2019.